question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Yo. I heard y'all need some food for the mind, for the soul, for the soul.
They open the door. They think he's a righteous dude.
It's counting down. So right now's topic, we're talking about noticing
Don't
everything
you,
after a breakup.
bro? It's a podcast, dude. Just speak.
Oh,
You ain't gotta
it's
make
been
it
a
like
while.
it's a video.
All right, basically,
Yeah,
right? I don't know, bro. After this bitch went to my house, I couldn't do it no more, bro. I couldn't. It's like boom, so many cons out of nowhere. None of the stuff that I saw when I was on the phone with her was visible until she came to this house. It's like, yo, a hot ass mess in a backpack getting dragged across the city. That's what she was.
yo, yo. See now, cause yeah, like I said, like basically the way how it really gets set up. Wait, now that I really think about it, I think that's a trauma response.
What?
That might be a trauma response. Like, okay, so right, like this. We tend to, like I said, that after we put potential on someone for so long, and then we finally see their true colors, now we look at everybody at face value. I think that's a trauma response.
I thought it
Like
was
I'm
like growth.
saying, huh?
It seems more like growth because it's like you're not allowing shit that you would have let slide now. So it's like
Yeah, yeah, I know. No, it is a level of growth, but there is still a trauma response. Like, cause like I remember seeing this thing. It was like you're not. That's not discernment. That's fear. Like, but like, see, like, right? Cause it's the fear of dealing with other people type shit. Here's what I'm saying for real though. Like, it's a trauma response because now we're looking at all the red flags of people, not even giving them a chance to be let in.
I don't
We're
think
only
we should.
looking at their like, I mean, yes, we're supposed to, but we're only looking at their face value, not trying to actually, like, we want to know what's at the top. What is the red flags at the top? If those red flags at the top, if those red flags don't show up at the top, what's at the depth? See, but we're in reality, I feel like that's the type of thing. We got to start learning people at their depth value. We're just so quick. We're so quick to write them off on face value off of pain.
Nah, that's because when we sit here and see all the potential in the nigga, and then, you know what I'm saying, we give them so much
Yeah,
chance.
because we get, yeah, I get what, okay, I get that. I
Now
get
we
that. We
fucked
got
up.
it.
We sad and shit, and we feel like we ain't shit. Whole time we was being too much of shit with people that never gave a fuck about you in the first place. So it's like, good, bro. Fuck them. Like, if we see a lot of red flags now, get out of there. Would you want to get hurt again?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I think it's just like what I'm saying it as is it's a trauma response is because we're so willing to not deal with it now because of past, past shit, instead of just trying to find a way to really find love again. Some people are worth that.
I
That's
feel
what I
like,
feel like.
bro. I feel like you only should have to do some shit like that once, where you just allow them to fuck with you and do all this shit that you're not okay with, just because you see them growing as a person. You don't have to do that shit with everybody just because you think they have potential.
I'm not
Everybody
saying,
got
look, I'm
no,
not
no. Listen,
saying,
listen though. Everybody got potential in general. Everybody. So it's like,
yeah,
if you gonna date the whole planet and trust all of them, like, who you fucking Ugandi? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to explain, but it's not hard to explain. It's basically like, I think that piece of shit woman. You feel me? Because it's like now I'm not as like trusting and green as I was with her and shit. You know, I wouldn't have got myself hurt because I can't only blame the other person, seeing as though I'm the one that allowed this shit for so long. You know what I'm saying? So it's like both of us. She's really a piece of shit for keep bringing me back or whatever, but Besides that, if I would have been like this in the beginning, I would never have went through none of that.
That's true. That's true. If you had seen like if we had the ability to really see the face value and really trash people at the beginning. But see, but here's the thing, right? Here like this is what I'm saying in my case, right? Some people just need somebody to believe. That's all it really is. Some people just need that somebody to believe in them. And in reality, me being one of those people, see, like
People think it's
I needed
yes.
some I thought I needed somebody to believe in me. That's the thing. I thought I needed somebody to believe in me because I only had myself for so long. Like I went 15 years before getting my first girlfriend. And then when I did, I thought that was it. I thought I was finally done and out and then like cuz it was lasting so long and it was going so well. But then I found out some shit and then boom, now I'm dealing with my first heartbreak. But here's the thing about my first heartbreak is that it was also a trauma response because I didn't want to deal with the pain so much that I took her back afterwards. And the reason why is because
Mm.
I didn't want to I like she the way how she like actually put in the effort to say I need you back. It was like maybe there is more to you. And
There's
that's what I
people,
believe.
there's people, right, that they do completely nothing sometimes, maybe bare minimum, and they know exactly what they need to do to us and for us to be happy, and they only do shit that they know we need when they want us back, and then when they get us back they stop completely. It's like nothing ever happened. It's
Hmm.
back to normal. So it's like at this
Exactly.
point you either gotta show me now or go fuck yourself. Fuck all of that. I'm not an ugly
Nah,
nigga.
that is
This is me off
that's
the wake up. This is me off the wake up, nigga. Chilling. Look.
nah, whole time you are right about that because they know exactly what they need to do in order to get you back, and then they only do it so that they can don't feel bad about themselves. But
Hmm.
welcome to the MYP podcast. I'm sorry we just went on the whole rant for like a good 7 minutes, but y'all enjoyed that, didn't y'all? Yeah, y'all
Hmm.
did. Today, the episode is called something like Red Pill. And what is Red Pill content? Like we one thing we hate like I hate Red Pill content so bad. But with Red Pill content it's such a it's such a it's literally just dudes pumping themselves up so they can feel better about the people who hurt them. Like I understand the value of self-worth, right? But why are you doing the things that pleases you're doing the things that pleases the same people that hurt you and then telling other people they need to go that they need to like do the same in order to feel validated. Like I don't want to say like Andrew Tate type thing, but it's like Andrew Tate. This whole masculinity over I'm the man, I can do all type of content that's being built, and then he still goes out messes with those same people he says don't mess with, whole OnlyFans people, all that bullshit, and then tell them that they're whores, then come back to the dudes talk about don't mess with them, and then still only put the frame on them like those are the only ones in the world. I
I
think
also will say
I'm just
there's two
saying like
ways
the
to look
world.
at it. Well, maybe three ways.
I'm just saying
Three
the
ways.
world is more. The world is more than just the people who hurt
Mm-hmm. You right. But it's like, see, me, nigga, I was bad emotional. Not in a bad way. Like, I think I was just like one of those people that was like, oh, I'm gonna be the person that makes her know that she's loved and shit, all that dumbass shit, right? But then it's like now, You gotta deserve
Don't
that
call
shit.
it dumb.
You gotta
Don't
deserve
call
it.
it dumb.
I'm gonna call it dumb depending on the person that you're doing it with. Cause it's like if the girl was a shit from the beginning, and then I keep holding on to like what I think she can be and shit, and I try to be the person to help her be who she can be. I'm really just gonna cause myself to self destruct in the long run when I realize that the shit ain't never gonna work. Some people are just too far gone, believe it or not. There's nothing you can do for them.
Yeah,
Lost causes are
yeah,
real,
that
nigga. Lost causes are
no,
real.
no, no. See, look, well, okay, I'll say it like this because I don't know. I don't want to be the overly positive type of thing, but it's that not all causes are lost causes. It's just some people are lost causes for the wrong things. Like if you have someone that's in front of you always telling you basically all the things that could, potentially build you and help you out, and you're continuing to basically give up on yourself and practically think that, like, I don't know, it's like that's kind of one of those things. Like they never really realized that their actions do have repercussions. Like their actions have consequences. Because I know mine did. I know that some of the things that I really did was out of the fucking pocket. But like you just said, when you continue to push, when you continue to push into nothingness, you tend to self-destruct. You tend to self-sabotage. And that's kind of like the spiral that happens because you're putting more faith into
Oh,
something outside of you and seeing the difference.
I almost did 25 years for a bitch I didn't do nothing but try to help. I didn't do nothing bad for real. Everything I did, I feel like it was justified because it was responses to what she was fucking doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I understand if I was a shitty nigga, you know what I'm saying, and I was like cheating or like being friendly and shit, you know what I'm saying, borrowing her money. Nigga, I ain't never asked her for shit. I used to give her shit. The most I'd ask her to do was go to McDonald's for me. You know what I'll do? Cash app the bitch. Like, what the fuck? So it's like a 50-50. It's like, it depends on the situation. And not even just that. It's still, every action causes a reaction. That's real life. So it's like, if she didn't do all the shit she was doing, right, it would never have gotten to how it was. You feel me? Because it's like, boom, the more shit you do to a person, it accumulates. So it makes more shit that you do more drastic and dramatic to the person that you're doing it to. So it's like, boom. At first, I didn't really care that much. I'm like, all right, cool. She fucked up, whatever. And then like eventually, I'm just like, yo, what the fuck is your problem? You feel me? And then next thing you know, we yelling at each other, or you know what I'm saying, she wanna lock me out or some shit, some dramatic now. And now it's like every little argument that would have been a little argument turns to a big ass argument, and then it's like it just starts getting bad.
Yeah, and in all it could all literally be fixed is if they just took a second, turned around and was like, what am I doing wrong?
Bro, they don't do that shit
Like,
until they lose you, and then they don't even move fast enough after they lose you to go fully into the change. So it's like they realize the problem, and that's where they stop at. They be like, "Oh yeah, I know I was this," and then you hearing them say all the problems that you fucking said in your head already. Say like, "Oh shit, she's better." You go back out with her, it's just the same bitch that
yeah,
knows what she's doing now.
oh my gosh. No, because there's a trend on TikTok right now, and basically they like turn their head around and then literally just say all their red flags and then be like, who said that? And it's just like that's what I call a gray zone. That's what I call a gray zone, where you know the problem, know how to fix it, and
And
you
don't.
continue to still live said way because that's what's convenient.
There's some people, nigga. There's some people, and I'm gonna say just like that, bitch, because it's just like her, right? Where they like their coping mechanism is like a complete nothing. They feel nothing, and then it's like they don't have no more emotion. And then even if they do feel, it's not enough to be how they want to be, or enough to be how they know the other person deserves them to be. So it's like they really just gonna waste everybody else's time until they self destruct and lose it all, whether it be kids, their life.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I don't believe that there's a such thing as people with no emotions. I think it's just the people who have the will to. Did you? Uh, it's the people who have the will to basically bypass them. They'd rather ignore them and continue on than to face them because facing them seems scary. And I know for a fact that facing them seems scary because like when I finally stepped up to the when I finally stepped up to the plate and faced all my emotions and my trauma and my fears and all that, I started to realize that it came to flow a little easier because I realized that what I was going for is something totally different than what I'm running away from. And in all reality, that's real self-love. Being able to do that. You know what I mean? Like being able to say, "Hey, I know me. How do I fix me?" And self-love really starts with just all that. Because it's like knowing, ooh, excuse me, knowing your problem is one thing. Fixing it is an entirely different thing. But being consistent on the fix because you want better for yourself, that's self-love. It's just how far are you willing to go to prove to yourself that you love yourself.
Right now, right now, I know exactly what I am doing right now. Like I know where I'm at. Right now, I'm at the stage where I see everything wrong and I just stop it dead and there. Like I don't have emotions, bro. I mean, I do have emotions, but it's not like controlling me. I guess they're there, but I think rationally enough to know, like, yeah, I'm not talking to her. Or yeah, I'm not finna keep acting like I like her because you know what I'm saying. She's a good person. When you know what I'm saying, if I'm clear and I tell you like, yeah, I don't really feel anything right now. You know what I'm saying, and then you like kind of push for like the narrative of us being together and that you know what I'm saying. It you can't call me and be like, "Oh, I miss you," and then you waiting for me to say I miss you, but like in real life, I'm just thinking about what the fuck I have to cook at 3:15 at my job. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna. If I allow it to continue, all I'm gonna do is the same thing that happened to me, where I allow you to feel more and more and more, and then I stay stagnant in my nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then now you hurt, and I played you, and then you think I used you for sex, but in real life, I told you I didn't want to have sex. If you didn't want to have sex, but you did it anyways, thinking that I was gonna be more into you. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be so honest with you, gang. I do. That is
Yeah,
that is an entirely different. That's an entirely different beast. Oh
that
my
just
gosh.
that just happened to
No,
me.
yeah, but like I think what that is that that's like adjusting to the pain, like just numbness. Like that, but I mean, see, look, right? It here's the thing. It works both ways, right? It really does work both ways. There's the side that gets numb to it and kind of adjusts to the numbness, and then there's a side that feels it, but now they felt it so much that they're numb to those feelings.
It's probably that one. Cause you remember how dramatically fucking passionate I was in the last one. So it's like
Yeah, so like you get numb to the feelings, but then you have that realization. But then you have that realization is that some people use that numbness so then they can go off at that point. Other people, they use that numbness to finally fix. Cause like you can't do a procedure without anesthesia. Like imagine trying to get a heart transplant and you still awake.
You ain't gonna be awake for too long when they take that damn heart out your chest.
Exactly. So either way, you're going to go through the numbness. But if you feel it first, if you feel it first, you resonate. You resonate. You focus on where that pain is coming from. And when that pain finally starts to die down, boom, that's when you really can start fixing. Just like just like in the Bible. Just like David, just like what David did after he beat Goliath. After David beat Goliath, he had to go into a cave, a place where he can't get comfortable, and it's damn sure not what he got promised, but it was the place where he could heal. And then when he finally got out of said cave, he made Ziklag. Ziklag was like the half promise, the counterfeit promise of what he was looking for. It was the freedom. It was better than the cave, but it wasn't the destination. You got to get out of Ziklag as well.
I
That's like,
think, I think, right? The whole numb shit. I don't really think I'm numb for real. I just think I just know now not to put all my feelings into a person before I actually want the person now. Like if they're not doing the shit that I like and I personally feel like the right person, no matter what, is gonna make you feel and do the stuff that you wouldn't normally necessarily do. So it's like even if I am like this, the right person will make me not like this.
well, dude, you already have the right person. You have yourself.
No, I mean obviously, but I'm saying like
Yeah, but look. But like I'm saying it like in a way of like you do not have to base your entire life on another person. Like you really have to learn how to provide for yourself. Like you are your own mouth to feed. You still gotta eat. It's the only difference is can you make like do so now.
it's a good
The
one.
only difference is can you make enough for someone else to eat with you?
Yeah,
Like once you like think about it like how cavemen used to do it, right? A caveman that lived by himself only had to hunt a hare a day. But then a caveman, after they got a family, they learned how to they while they were hunting all those hares, what did they do? They also learned how to shoot a deer. They also learned the weaknesses of an animal like a mammoth. And that was the thing that helped them be able to feed more people because they kept learning how to feed. They kept learning how to kill those hares, and when they got those rabbits, they brought it back to themselves, and they was able to feed themselves. That providence of yourself is exactly the thing that can help you provide for someone else. See, it's like right. You can have a rabbit, right? You went outside, you hunt and killed a rabbit, and that's enough to feed you for the next 3 days. But then But see, like that's enough to feed you for 3 days. You add one more person to that. Now y'all eat for 2 days each, right? Boom, boom. Now they are adding on to both of y'all. Y'all two created something, and now the hair that could feed y'all three is only gonna last a day. So what you got to do now? Learn how to hunt bigger. This is what it all comes down to. Once you learn how to feed yourself, you can learn how to feed other people. You picking up what I'm putting down here.
yeah, I got it. I filled it up in a glass cup.
What?
I thought that was a saying. Filled it up in a cup. No, it's not a thing.
I've never heard nothing like that before.
Well, we gonna make it up. But yeah, anyways.
for real though.
It's lit. It's
It's
fast, but go ahead. Go ahead. I like this one.
nah, but for real though, it's like that. That was one of the things that I realized. Right, I was so busy. I was so busy trying to teach. I was so busy trying to teach other people how to hunt, and then when I kept doing that over and over, like everything just started to go crazy. I'm gonna be so honest, everything started to go crazy because since I'm the only one actually teaching people how to hunt, and I'm doing so much teaching, they're not actually doing. So then what happens is that I started to go into hunt myself. The thing is that since I'm going to hunt, I'm not hunting to go, I'm not hunting to eat. I'm hunting to teach. So I'm going out there, getting the harvest, coming back and giving it to them. And they're like, oh, okay, so that's how you do it. But here's the thing, they already got the reward. They
Yeah,
already got
for
the
real.
reward. And then when you keep demonstrating, when you keep demonstrating and letting them have the example, they're going to start thinking to themselves, oh, well, I don't have to go out there if you already got enough food for the next 2 days.
And that's exactly what happened right there. That is exactly what happened.
Exactly. I don't need to go out there and hunt if you already got the hare, if
I
you
don't need to
already got
try
the rabbit.
us to stay with me. I don't have to do this because he's gonna do it already before I even have to try to do it. All of that.
Yeah, the whole time I'm just trying to teach you how to do it. I'm just trying
Hmm.
to teach you. You can, and then that's what makes it so much worse because it's because they're not recognizing the teaching. They're not recognizing the teaching and the harvest. They're not recognizing that. They're not recognizing that I'm just teaching you how to do it instead. Because basically, here's what the plan really was in a way. I go out there, I teach you how to harvest, I teach you how to harvest, I teach you how to hunt. I come back, you look at it, you're like, oh, okay. Then you go out there with me. Now we both bringing back now we both bringing back a rabbit a day. Now we have rabbits for the whole week off of just one day. One day of work fed us fed us for the rest of the week. And then like that's all it takes. But when you're the only one, when you're in a situation where you're only one going out there to hunt. And the crazy part about it is, right? I learned this analogy a long time ago. There was this thing, it was a video, and it was about how cats see the world. Cats think when you go out to leave the house and you come back with like a bag or something, they think you had a plentiful harvest. They think you came back and the hunt was successful. I learned that analogy. The only thing is that I never said it out loud. And now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. See, we put this title, we put this title of provider, we put this title of provider on a man so fast, right? Whole time we didn't even know that back then a woman knew how to hunt too. She knew how to use that rifle. She knew how to do that spear. She knew how to do it too. But
Definitely in Africa. But go ahead.
exactly. But if the man didn't have to hunt hare all the time, he could just get a deer by himself. The only difference is is that the man had to learn how to do that. Had to learn how to do that, right? There was a time. There was a time in between so where like think about it like this, right? Think about it like this, right? You can't buy a house. You can't buy a house on one person's income. how did they get the house? The wife had to get a job too. It's not about it's not about the fact that it's not about the fact that there can't be a such thing as a stay-at-home mom. It's about the fact that we have to get the home.
Facts.
And the
But
only way you're going to be able to the only way the two are going to be able to provide for more than just the two is if they both learn how to provide.
perfect. I got another one. I got another one. You hear?
Yeah, listen.
Gaslighting. I fucking hate gaslights with a passion. There's give me a second. Give me a second. That shit really make me bad. I will punch a bitch on accident. So one day, right? You ever told somebody your exact feelings in full detail, maximum clarity, and they say, no, that's not what it is. And then they tell you a whole bunch of other complete bullshit that'll have nothing to do with what you actually feel at all. And then they so adamant about how they think you feel, and then it just causes confliction and an argument. And then in real life, you just a narcissistic piece of shit that's scared to express their feelings. But bitch, I just expressed to you my feelings in the most simplest fucking way possible. Where even somebody with fucking epilepsy was watching strobe lights could understand me while they was seizing up. You feel me? Like, come on.
Oh man. Okay, so like the real thing about see, I didn't even know that was gaslighting. I'm gonna be so honest with you. I didn't even know that was
Think about it, bro.
gaslighting. I
You
just thought it
you
was
had you had your
but
ideology perfect. Like you knew what the fuck you was saying. And then no, that's not what you mean. Maybe you think this. That's definitely gaslighting. The minute they try to change your way of thinking and what you think and have you feel like you crazy and shit and you tripping, they gaslighted you. It's a manipulation tactic. So they either gonna make you think differently or make you feel like what you thinking is wrong. Or they gonna say something to make you feel a kind of way for you to do and be how they want you to be. Fuck all of that.
high key, yeah, I did not know that was a form of gaslighting. To be honest though, but like now that I do know, it's just like I think it's just like realizing that you don't you I mean, see, here's the thing, right? You gotta go through some of this stuff in order for you to realize like in order for you to realize the habit of it. So like when you have to over explain and you still get gaslit, that's such a hard pill to swallow because you're actually it makes you go back in your mind and think, wait, did I really not simplify it well enough for you?
It's not even just that too.
But
It's like not only do you feel like what you're saying ain't right no more, but now you feel like damn, I should have just kept my fucking feelings inside because talking doesn't mean shit if she's not gonna fucking understand me. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow when you feel like no matter what you say, it's not going to go out right because they're
Hmm.
not hearing the same thing you're saying. But it's that realization, it was the realization that what okay, so right, it's the realization that I had to stop expecting people to play a part in my story. Like if I realizing that over explaining and still not listening is gaslighting. It's the realization that you weren't hearing me. You weren't, it's not that you weren't hearing me, it's that that wasn't your capacity. That wasn't in your role. You already like
Not
what you are, huh?
and they did not want to hear it either because it's like oh that's not the answer they want.
Cause
Like say for
cause it
instance
takes
right.
accountability.
It's like boom. Another example, another one, right? Another one. This happened. A lot of shit has happened recently. I've been trying to figure my life out and me out and shit. So I just been exploring shit to learn shit. So basically, right? I told this one person. I told this one person. I said, look, I like I like you. You know what I'm saying? I just don't feel like I'm in a place mentally where I could like act like I'm somebody else when I'm totally not. Like you're either gonna have to accept me while I'm going through all of this shit, or like this ain't gonna work. And then the person was like, "Say you don't miss me." You know what I mean? Completely didn't give a fuck about nothing I said at all. Like listen to it just to simply ask me for the answer of some bullshit she asked me earlier on in the conversation. Like, bitch, no, I don't miss you. That's the fucking problem. Fuck.
Hockey. No, no, there is no there that is like a barrier right there. But that's not really the same as expecting someone else to play a role in the story.
Hmm.
That's just more of realizing where you're at in your story. And like people not really willing to read it.
Yep.
Like, see, right, what I'm saying is like expecting someone to play their part of your story is when you have to over explain what you are expecting from them and they're still not doing it. Like I think that's the reason why. See, that's the real reason why. Like how we said in early in the podcast, is about like the face value and depth value. See, that's what I'm saying. There's that real thin borderline of like when you expect them to play a certain role and they still don't. That's their face value. That's not their depth value. And the reason why is because if that was their depth value, they would figure out a way. Like that, they would figure out a way so they could do something like it and still not overextend themselves. Because even you, when you look at someone else, you don't what like think about Leonardo DiCaprio, right? He's not going to he's not going to just straight up ball up crying. He's not going to just straight up ball up crying just because just because it says it in the scene. Just because it says cry. He's going to make tears. He's going to have an emotional face, but he's not going to give you a full sob. You asked for crying. He gave you tears in a sad face, but he didn't roll all over the floor, get into a fetal position, and just straight up scream how much he hated acting. No, he gave you the tears, the sad look, and then cut to the next scene. Cause that's what you cause he gave his potential. He gave that didn't give his potential, gave the depth of what he can do. He didn't he made like and that's what and guess what? Guess what? It still did it for you. It still did it for you because that's what you asked for. You asked for what you could get out of them. It's just you got to recognize who are they, like what are you willing to extend yourself for?
I'm not willing to extend myself for nothing unless it's natural and real, and it's two people instead of one motherfucker in a relationship. Ain't nobody about to pick up the whole slack of a relationship. Fuck all of that.
No one ever really said that you had to pick up the whole slack. It's
Just
just
saying in general, not saying you said it or nothing.
no, I
That's
know, but I'm
right.
saying it's not. Look, it's not. I'm not saying that you got to pick up the whole slack, but if you, but like the point of it is to try. The point of it is to do. There's going to be times where you don't feel like doing something, but what love really is just being able to show up, even on the days where
Nah, you gotta rephrase that. Showing up is not enough. You gotta show up and do some shit. You can't just show
No,
up and be present. That's all
no,
of our
no,
exes.
no, no. Showing up is literally 90% of it. Showing up, that's literally giving support. I'm giving time out of that is bare minimum. Showing up is bare minimum. Being present. Do you know what being present is in the classroom?
I'm gonna be honest. That's not enough. That's not enough for me. Was present there.
She wasn't present.
I mean, not mentally, but the
No,
bitch's
no,
body.
exact. She wasn't present because she still fell asleep in class. You know what being present is? When they call your name, you raise your hand.
I like that one. Hey, yo, edit her name,
Exactly.
by the way.
Okay. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like being present like that is bare minimum. Like when I'm in my trade school right now, and 90% of the job, they literally like he's literally said just showing up every day. And that's what we've been doing. We've all been showing up every day, and that's 90% of the job. Attendance is one of the most crucial things because you can learn how to weld. You can learn how to weld with ease. Welding ain't hard, but if you gonna show up, what if this be the one day we teach something new and you don't hear it? You ain't getting that repetition in the practice because you ain't show up. The more you show up, the more you're more likely to show out. But if you're just going to be there just to lay your head down, you're not showing up. What are you doing? You're taking up space. But like like I like it's like for real. I think that's one of the biggest problems in situations, especially when it comes to dating, when we put more faith into someone else outside of ourselves. If you can go in and do your job, you did the right thing. You got to start counting on you, counting on yourself, counting on God gonna do his job. Give her, give her, him, they, them, all them, the message that you're trying to express into this thing, and then it works just like that. Because a relationship ain't gonna work. No matter what it is, no matter what it is, whether it's your job, whether it's a partner, whether it's a friendship, a relationship ain't gonna work if God ain't in the middle of it. What I mean by God in the middle of it. If
Oh, I got
you aren't willing to serve the other person, God ain't in the middle of it. If your job wants you to be there but doesn't want to pay you, God ain't there. If you in a relationship, I don't know what's happening. If you in a relationship, if you
you
in a
did what?
relationship and you serve, but you don't reap the harvest of serving for them. If you in a relationship and you serve, they don't, and they wondering why it's going downhill because they're not participating in their God likeness. If your friends, if your friends aren't serving and you're serving, it's one-sided. God ain't in the middle. See, it's like,
Can you hear me?
but you gotta recognize that are you doing the work? Are you
Oh, can you hear me?
watering? Yes. You
Okay,
gotta
good.
recognize, are
It
you
seems like
watering? Yeah, you're here still. But you gotta recognize, are you watering? Are you watering? Are you weeding? Are you yeah, he left. Are you watering? Are you weeding? Are you harvesting? Because a tree without any, a tree that doesn't get its harvest taken is just going to create spoiled fruits. You just
Mm-hmm.
damage the branch because then the tree itself just takes the nutrients of the fruit that is not being given. I mean, that's not being taken. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Like think about when you go to the store and you buy tomatoes, right? You buy a little vine of tomato. No, not tomatoes. You buy a little vine of grapes, right? You go in, take a couple grapes, right? Boom, you put them in the fridge. Then you come back a couple weeks later, maybe. I don't know, right? What is happening to those grapes? Some of them are still full and ripe, but other ones are getting shriveled and sour. Why? Because the vine is taking the nutrients in order to stay alive. It's taking its
Mm-hmm.
nutrients back in order to stay alive, and it's giving it into certain other fruits. One of the things, one of the main things that is just about just is that harvest is healthy. Taking from them is healthy. You don't because just continuously giving, continuously watering, continuously supporting is very unhealthy and is one of the things that makes you put in your mind that it's one-sided. You're not taking the fruits. Taking the fruits is one of the main ways that a tree grows in a way. But you gotta count on yourself to continue to water, to continue to support, and continuing to harvest. You have to do your part so what you're putting in is going to do its part.
They keep kicking me out. I'm sorry, being in the dance. I hope I stay in the video.
It's cool. You gonna hear that part.
I can hear you. It just didn't let me say anything for a little bit.
Did you hear all that?
Mm-hmm. I heard the whole thing.
Uh, oh damn. But yeah, like I said, it's just like I never really thought about that though. I never really thought about that
Ooh,
because like
another one. Another one.
taking taking the fruits is really a part of of the process. The only thing is that is these fruits enough?
Oh, we have to talk about post nut clarity real fast because that shit is crazy. I didn't know it was that dramatic. I didn't know it was that dramatic until recently,
It is very dramatic, sir.
bro. I was
It's
like,
very dramatic.
bro, it was like immediately after. I'm just like, I gotta go home. yo, yo, immediately, it's like all the shit that said I didn't realize punches you right in your damn face at once.
I think I think post clarity is like the realization that exactly what you were waiting for is not there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it hits
Exactly what it
hard.
was. It's
It
like boom,
hits
you could
hard.
feel them. You could feel them. You could feel them. You could like them and shit. But like
Yeah,
love don't be there yet.
that's when
And
you
then
start to
like,
realize that's like one of the main ways for when you realize that is this the actual thing or is this another counterfeit? And if once you
hmm
get that clarity and you realize that it is a counterfeit, it's just like uh
I shouldn't have been here in the first place.
hmm. But the only real reason why lust took over like that and it took you to get to that point to where you're like to where you're just like to where you're just like, this ain't it. It's really because you put a job on someone else that was actually supposed to be your own. Like, they can't save you. That's your own job.
Mm-hmm.
Seeking to be saved outside of yourself is like Link is like Link saying that he needs a master sword in order to fight a goblin. Does that terminology make sense?
No, it makes sense.
Yeah,
That's like
see, like,
got that Xeno sword and the shit broke, and it was
mm,
like, yo, we can't be Boo no more, even though that nigga could regenerate and shit. So it's like, how was the sword gonna beat him anyways? You know what I mean?
yeah, so it's that realization that like you're putting the job on something else outside of yourself in order to do the work for you. Because imagine if Link went into the Temple of Time and he was like, oh, okay, so that's the Master Sword. Why isn't it beating Ganon already? That's that
Yeah.
that's that because like you would think, see, like, think about it like that, right? Think about it in a way of like what business, right? You have the product and all you got to do is sell it. You keep showing it off to people and they're like, I want that, but you're not giving it to them. You're expect like, see, the thing is, the product is doing the job for itself. Product is doing the job for itself because it's the exact thing that people want and they need. Just like Ganon, just like Link and the Master Sword. Ganon is afraid of that Master Sword. But as long as it's inside the stone, he ain't got to worry about it. He already understands that. Imagine if Link really went into that Temple of Time and said, why isn't Ganon just going to be just like, why is he not scared? The sword is right there. The sword is here. I don't need to do anything else. No, no, you gotta pick that thing up. That's the tool.
Mm-hmm.
That's the tool. You're the person who does it. You're the one who fights Ganon. This is
Oh
the
shit!
tool to do it.
Look it. I got a journal.
Yeah, yeah. I really recommend journaling. I journal everything now. But
Me
yeah,
too.
but yeah, like you're putting faith into something outside of yourself in order to do the job for you. When in reality, you already have the sword inside of you. Pause, low key. What was the other one?
Ugh.
Yeah, like just like in business. You have it. Now you have to sell it. You have the product. Now you have to sell it.
I can sell it all right. Wait.
And like the product here is basically like, hey, this right here gonna fix your problem. They're like, oh my gosh, I want it. Yes, let it fix my problem. They're like, okay, I'll give it to you. And then they walk away. Now the customer is looking at you like, what the fuck? But in reality, the item isn't going to sell itself. You got to put the price tag on it.
Mm-hmm.
And for real, wait, let's get into our last thing right here, right? Out of all the things that we've talked about here today, It's mainly how we talked about face value and depth value. It's that realization that it's all just potential over projection, right? Putting a potential, putting a potential on something that where it's like okay, so right in my class, I kind of like study the people around me, and one of the things I said is that when you really think about it, people's face value when they see new people is exactly how they want to be seen.
Yep.
They project exactly how they want to be seen. But the thing is that when they project how they want to be seen, they tend to project themselves onto other people, right? Uh, one thing I do a lot in just like occasions now with all my healing, I am a very upbeat type of person, just straight up jokes and maybe I hit a jig out of nowhere type shit. Classmate walks up to me and she's like, "What are you doing?" As in like a type of way of what you're doing right now is pretty embarrassing. You should stop that. But in reality, she's like she in her face value, if she did that, she would be embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just projecting. But that realization that projection also works both ways. It's not just the bads, it's also the goods. Putting your potential on someone else's face value is projection. Whether it's true or not, you knowing who you are, even if it's subconsciously, like how we put faith into other people. Think about it as in think about it as in you you see someone else. They are they are the second coming of Hitler without killing, right? They're just a mean and hateful person. But you're like, wow, they probably love bunnies. And then you walk up to them and they're like, oh yeah, I do love bunnies. And now you think everything else about them is true because they have something that is common with you. So now you're projecting the rest of the potential that you have into them. Whole time, what if that one thing that they have in common with you is the difference between you two? Like,
True,
right?
because she could like taxidermy rabbits. She could like killing rabbits. She could like fucking studying their feet, have them in their fucking chain and shit, and then you could like adore and love rabbits to the point we wouldn't even harm them or want to see them dead.
Exactly. Like you walk up to someone and they're like, "Oh yeah, I love video games. I sit in my room and 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 I don't know.
They
I
end up
love video games.
stupid
I love video
like
games.
fuck,
I sit in my room and I love sleep, right? You're like, "Oh my gosh, we have that in common." But in reality, but you're like, "But I also like business. I also like anime. I also like uh money. That's a part of my personality. That's a part of my potential right there." But they like video games, sitting in their room and sleeping
only.
only. That is their potential. That is what
Hmm.
they do. You're seeing what you like to do. That is what they do. You believe that just because they have those days like you, they also think just like you. Whole
That's like
time, what they told
when
you
I
was
make
face
friends.
value.
That's like when I make friends that say they like fighting, right? And then they do a move, and I'm just like, the fuck is that?
For real.
Remember when this nigga showed me that move where he could supposedly break my arm, and I was just like this.
We got to be more specific because we met a lot of people. Uh, I got I gotta edit that out too.
He's definitely a good face value person and depth person to talk about. Go ahead on him real quick.
Nah, see, in reality, he's not a face and depth value person. He's just face value. There's a difference. Some people's face value is their depth value. That's why they can talk about themselves so easily.
But
I learned that.
to him, because he said that he used to deal drugs, but ended up being the drug addict. So it's like, is he really face value and depth
That
value, or is he just, you know what I mean?
no, that's face value. That's face value. Because if you could just tell somebody about your past that easily, then yeah, of course that's face value. Your face value is your depth value. You are here, but a lot of us spend our time right here. Depth value people spend their time right here. Face
What you
value
think?
people spend their time right here.
Which one am I? Oh,
You are a balance of the two.
okay,
You have depth, but you work in your face value.
that makes sense.
All right, now let's get into our segments. Uh, our free 99 game of the day is actually what I already talked about, how to create a product. And the funny part about creating a product is basically just finding your audience. One thing about finding your audience is you are in a specific group of people. You are in an area with a specific group of people who need a problem solved. Basically, you have found the people who have a demand, you are just a supplier. You can either do that in any straight of form, whether that's physical or elemental. I don't know what it's called, like physical or tangible, whether that is something that you can just think of it, whether it's something that you could just sell or you can provide. Going down from lawn care to fast food. Uh, think about it in a way of um, if it's a service, you're in an area where there's a lot of tall grass. You are you have a lawnmower. You can charge those people $40 per cut. They tell more people. You continue. Now you have a product and a sale. But if you're something of fast food, which is a product for sale, you make food for people who are hungry and want a specific type of food in order to fill their need. All creating a product is being the supplier for the demand. And if you really want to get down into the nitty gritty of something like that, you could actually you can actually even sell transformation. And one of the main ways people sell transformation is something like ebooks, courses, or YouTube videos. Not every product has to be for sale, but every product can get you money. I've made a video about how to create an ebook. It'll be somewhere around here. And yeah, uh, let's get into our top five. All right, you ready for this? You ready for this?
Yep, yep. Go ahead. Let's have it.
Top five best flop games that were actually good. All right, here's my top five. Number five, Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's a game. It's a game that is literally based in medieval RPG where you play as a dude who knows nothing and apparently just learns how to use a sword for the first time in his life. Doesn't even know how to read. The game was piss poor when it first came out. And then boom, it's one of the and then it comes out with a sequel, and the sequel does numbers. Number four, we got Fallout 4. Fallout 4 was one of the biggest flops ever. But now it's actually doing numbers. And I don't know why. I think it's because we seen Fallout 76 and we started to realize that that game is worse. So we all just went back to Fallout 4 and was like, maybe it's not that bad. Number three, this
And that shit used to make me so fucking mad. Oh shit. I want to do six at this point. I want to do six. I bet I'm gonna save that one. My number one game would definitely be Jet Set Radio because they stopped there. They never made a new one after that. They never put it on a new system. They never did a two or three or four. They never kept it going. They stopped right there, and this shit made me so fucking mad because that was the best game I've ever played at that time. Hmm. The honorable mention will have to be The Incredibles for the same reason. The same reason you can only move fucking forward. Dash, you can only run forward. Yeah, PS3, PS2. The Incredibles was fire. The Incredibles was fire, but you only could go forward. And when you defeated enemies, they just died. That was it. And it was all. If they made Dash able to like, you know what I'm saying, run around and you could use his powers freely instead of racing, that would have been cool. But they wasted that game. He only had to get to point A to point B. That was it. And they set the time to an unreasonable time where you kept dying and losing, and you had to actually control the dashes where you could actually fucking get there. Mind you, not only that, the level up pointless. You leveled up for no reason. No reason. You don't get new powers or nothing. In fact, I had to delete like 17 apps. My memories don't go on almost, but Neezy.